Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inside AWAI. Today we're talking about 10 top paying projects for freelance writers. My name is Rebecca Matter, and I am joined by my great partner, Katie Yeakle. Hi, Katie.
Hi to my great partner, Rebecca Matter.
And our Director of Training, Pam Foster, also a
Great
wonderful colleague.
Director of Training, Pam Foster.
Hi, everybody.
And we are so excited for this topic. We talk about all the different ways that you can make a living as a writer, and then today there are so many different paths. Oftentimes it's overwhelming at how many opportunities there are. So we decided we would have this session today focus in on 10, just to give you a better understanding as to the depth and the breadth of the opportunity, so you can see how there are a variety of different project types. And no matter what your personality type is, no matter what you want to make as a writer, no matter what you enjoy writing, there's at least one or two or a dozen projects for you. So today we're going to go through 10 of them. We invite you to post questions if you have any questions, and we will do our best to answer them and kind of hopefully not only expose you to all the opportunities, but also help you start making forward progress, help you start making a decision so that you can move forward towards whatever your writer's life looks like for you.
And Rebecca, one thing that it gets me excited about these different project types are, you're going to find something no matter where you are in your process. There's going to be something here that you can do starting right now. So with that, I'm going to mute myself, and I'll be back in around number 4 or 5, I think.
Something like that. All righty. So what are we going to cover in this session today? We are going to do an overview kind of what the top paying freelance writing projects actually look like. We will talk about who uses them. So what types of clients are the ones who hire these projects. If you are brand new to this and you have no idea about companies and clients and how copy is used, I highly recommend that you check out another Inside AWAI webinar. We're going to give you some links at the end, but there's one on the Inside AWAI page called Blueprint. If you go through that one, if you go through all of our getting clients material, we have hours of information on how to get clients. And also all of you at this point have something called the AWI method on your My AWI member page. If you've never bought anything from us or have signed up before, that's okay. You're just going to go to the AWI website, set up an account under My AWI, and you'll be able to access it. But if you're brand new to this, I highly recommend that you go through those materials, because it will give you that 30,000 foot view of just how the whole thing works, how the clients work, the companies that you work for, how they hire, how you get your foot in the door. All that stuff is spelled out very clearly on our website. This session today, we're really looking at the project types. So we're going to talk about the clients who hire and use these projects. But if you're brand new, you might want to have a more macro view of the opportunity as a whole. But we'll talk about the clients. We're going to actually go through the list, so we'll go through 10 different project types, and we've included the fee ranges so that you know what you can expect to make. We'll go over how to land these projects, and then we'll close it out with questions. So you're welcome to post questions along the way if you're here with us live. Otherwise, we will open it up at the end for questions as well. So every year, we put out what's called our pricing guide. And this is to help the industry, both the writers and the marketers, really get a good understanding of what to expect when charging for projects. It's free for you. It's on our website. The URL is right there. But our motivation behind it is really to make sure that both sides of the equation understand the value. Most companies that you'll work for understand the value. They know that as a copywriter or a content writer, you drive their bottom line. You are the reason they are able to sell their products and services. And businesses are only in business if they're actually selling a product or service. So whether you're writing sales copy or you're writing website copy or social media or online content or things that just inform people about an opportunity, you provide great value to those companies. Most companies understand that, but just to make sure, we publish the pricing guide on their behalf to make sure that they know what they should expect when hiring a copywriter or a content writer for a specific project fee. At the same time, on the other side, and where I find the bigger challenge, is writers. Writers, when they first get started, don't know how to accurately value the services that they're providing. They don't realize that a letter that they might be writing may be bringing in $100,000 or $1 million, or even an article could be part of this greater conversation that is ultimately leading to major sales down the line. And so what we have more trouble with is helping writers understand where the projects fit in that business chain, if you will, or that marketing strategy, and how much it actually does benefit down the line at the end result, the bottom line, the result of the campaign, or whatever it is that they're writing for. So we have a lot of problems where a writer will email me and say, Rebecca, they want to pay me $1,500 to write a case study, but it's my first case study. And I have to say, yeah, because that's what a case study costs. That, it's between $1,500 or even $2,500. You're creating this great case study, this success story that is going to help more people get to benefit from their solution that they're selling. It's going to help them sell more of their products and services. That's what it costs. And so I have trouble helping writers really open their mind to make sure that they're not undervaluing their services and therefore underpricing them. Oftentimes you can lose out on a writing bid simply by going too low. So we want to make sure that both sides really understand their side of that conversation. So this is free for you. It also has great tips inside of it for them on how to recognize skilled copywriters. The reason we publish it in one report, though, just so you guys know, is that you know exactly what we're telling them. So we're telling them, here's how you hire and train a great copywriter. And then we're giving it to you saying, hey, copywriters, this is what we're telling them. So make sure that you basically use this as a checklist, that you have these things, because this is what they're going to be looking for over there. We actually cover 75 different projects in this pricing guide, but we're only going to cover 10 today. We cover some copywriting essentials for marketing success. So we believe these days copywriters need to understand something about marketing, and marketers need to understand something about copywriting. So this guide is kind of that all-encompassing, making sure that everybody's on the same page and has a productive conversation when it comes to pricing. So I recommend that you download that. But this is where we've pulled our prices from for today's session. So things that we'll see in there. These are the top content pieces. We talk about B2B, B2C. You're going to see words that if you're brand new, might not be familiar to you. B2B simply means business to business. It's a company that sells to another company rather than a consumer like you and me, which would be B2C, or business to consumer. Katie and I were just at a digital marketer event. If you're not familiar, they're very big in the marketing space, especially online. And Ryan Dice, their owner, referred to it, though, as human to human. Because at the end of the day, a company does not read the material, right? A company doesn't read an article. A company doesn't post on social media. People do. We read the content. We read the copy. We make the buying decisions. So B2B, B2C, whatever you see here, if you have a question, post it in the Q&A. But just know that this is just one area, one big, gigantic opportunity. There are over 5 million B2B companies in the US alone who need copywriters. But this is just one little segment of things that they do. There are dozens of marketing channels these days. When I started my career, there were four marketing channels. I mean, there were other little things, but in in the industry that I was in, it really was sales letters. We had radio, we had catalogs, and space ads, and that was it. These days, you have social media posts, you have case studies, you have videos, you have white papers and ebooks and infographics and illustrations and photos, and all of these things need writers behind them. I'm talking dozens. And every single company, whether they want to or not, has to be in all of these channels. Imagine doing a business nowadays with a company that doesn't have a website, right? Or if you're if you're on social media, imagine not being able to interface these days with a company on social media. If that's where you are, if that's where you do your research, make your buying decisions, you expect companies to be there. All of this stuff is run by writers. Videos, we consume information in different ways. I might like to read, you might like to watch, someone else might like to listen. We need content produced in all these different ways, and it's all done by writers. Even the images that you see these days, those things called infographics. You might see a really cool graphic with stats and details about something, but it's just one big image now. That was done by a copywriter because all of the words on that page mean something. They're still trying to get you to feel, believe, or do something. So writers nowadays, where it used to just be these little channels, couple channels that we needed some copy written for, now you can't be in business without copy and content. And that's why the opportunity is so much greater now for writers than it ever has been before. And the channels just keep growing, and companies don't have a choice. If they want to sell a widget, I'm this great widget manufacturer and I love my widget, I'm proud of my widget, and man, am I good at producing widgets. Well, guess what? I also have to be a publisher. I have to have a website. I have to be able to email my customers. I have to have a way of bringing in new potential customers and then helping them make decisions about my widget. But I just want to manufacture widgets. That's not my business. That's not my area of expertise. It's your area of expertise, and it's why you make a great amount of money these days as a writer. So who uses these types of projects? The short answer is everybody. Like I just said, imagine doing business with somebody who doesn't have a website, right? Every company now has to produce copy and content, and they have to produce it on a regular basis. Imagine if you were a business owner and you just sent your prospects, your customers, one email. That's it. Never going to hear from them again. Just one email, and you hope that it landed on the right day at the right time when they happen to need your service and happen to be in their inbox, and it wasn't bombarded by 100 other emails. Doesn't happen. Emails are typically sent regularly, if not every day, if not multiple times throughout the day, because we all get so much email. We need to be in that inbox. So your clients, they have to send a lot of email. They don't have time to write the email. They need somebody who can write new emails every single day, and that can be you. If they have a website, which they should, they have content on that website. If they don't keep publishing new content on that website, what happens? The website just starts to eventually go down in the search results and people can't find them anymore. Google assumes, you know what, they're probably not doing much more business these days, so they probably don't have new relevant content for people who are looking for this topic nowadays. They have to publish more content. That's where you come in. So every business has multiple needs. Even if they're not in all of the needs, even if they don't use all 75 projects, they still have a gigantic need, a greater need than what they can fill or what they even want to have for copy and content. Every niche, every industry, B2C, B2B, doesn't really matter who. What we will say though is that when we talk about these numbers, over 5 million B2B companies in the US alone, typically we're talking about mid-sized companies, not the mom and pop individually owned companies, but rather companies that have a decent staff, maybe 15, 25, 35, 50, that middle range. Going too big, if you go for super large companies, they have a demand as well, but you've got a lot more people involved. You've got a lot more people looking at the copy, touching the copy, approving the project proposals, and all of that stuff. Those middle-sized companies, companies like AWAI, and we're actually on the smaller end, but in general, those middle-sized companies, huge demand, don't want the in-house staff. They have to be able to move fast. They want the copy written, they want it to come in, and they want to publish it and move on with their day. So the mid-sized companies pay a great rate and have huge demand for freelance copy. And now my slides are going back. So let's jump into what these top 10 projects are that we're going to talk about today. The first one is probably, I'm going to say the largest opportunity, not because of volume, but because this is, if you will, it's the highest level in the hierarchy of copy and content. It is the biggest enchilada. It's the most challenging to write because it's long. It's the most artful form of writing. It's all about persuasion. And what you're going to see as we go through is persuasion is used all the way through. Like no matter what we talk about at AWAI, copy, content, doesn't matter. It all starts with persuasion. If you've taken the accelerated program for six-figure copywriting, which is our flagship program, that's the industry standard for direct response copy, you already know that we teach you to write a sales letter. Not because we think that you have to write a sales letter, but because if you can write a sales letter, you can write any other form of copy or content that we're going to talk about. Understanding persuasion, understanding the fundamentals and principles behind what makes people think, feel, believe, and move forward and take an action, whether that be reading the next article or sharing it on social media, as long as they're moving forward ultimately to that purchase, that's persuasion, that's direct response. It's moving someone forward towards an action that is predefined in the future. We teach you persuasion with a sales letter because it is the biggest project type that you will ever take on. And if you can do that, even if you never write a sales letter in your life, you will be a better email writer, social media writer, case study writer, whatever kind of writer you think you want to be or you feel that you're going to end up as. If you can write a sales letter, you will be better than any other copywriter out there who can't write a sales letter, which is why everything that we do is based on this sales letter architecture, if you will. That is how the company started over 20 years ago. We taught people how to write sales letters. That was something that not many people knew how to do. And so we were able to figure out the exact process behind it, the principles, the fundamentals of what actually makes sales copy work, and put it into a program, the accelerated program for six-figure copywriting, which is still the center of our business today. So that piece, if you've taken that program, you know what it takes to write a sales letter. Now, sales letters by volume aren't used. You're not going to be asked to write 50 sales letters this year, but you could be asked to write 50 case studies this year. However, sales letters, because they are such a big piece of a business, pay very well. 5,000, 8,500. We've paid over 25,000 for a sales letter before. And when you think about it, in the financial industry, it's even more. But when you think about what can happen with a sales letter, you can write one sales letter, or I can hire a copywriter to write one sales letter, and I can use the same letter 10 years. One of our controls is over 20 years. It helped launch the company over 20 years ago, and we're still using it today. So while it might not have the volume, I might not need a new sales letter from you every single day, like I might need an email or social media posts. You could write a letter today and get paid royalties on it, which is a percentage of sales for 20 years. Now imagine if you had one sales letter and you wrote a sales letter this month, and 2 months later you wrote another sales letter, and they both did pretty well, and now you're making royalties on both. Now you've gotten paid twice, but now you're collecting checks every single month for the 2 letters that you wrote earlier this year. And then 6 months later, you write another letter, and the first 2 are still doing well. They're still using them. And now you have 3 sales letters, and you're still getting royalty checks, and you're still getting paid to write the things that you're writing today, but you're getting paid for the 3 sales letters over there. I have writers that I pay royalties to that have over a dozen sales letters, 12 different royalty calculations for letters that they did not write this year. Crazy, right? One of the letters, one of our members actually wrote a letter for Writer's Digest. Her name is Pat McCord. She was one of our 10K challenge winners. And she wrote this article talking to writers saying, you know, basically your talents are worth a mint, and yet you're acting like a starving artist. You're not getting paid for them. Why not do copywriting while you're working on your novel? That letter has been running for over 10 years. She still gets a royalty check every single month for a letter that she wrote over 10 years ago. So sales letters, it's the biggest opportunity because it's one of the highest fees, but it's all about the royalties. You get continued payment for something that you did way back when. So there's 2 forms of sales letters that you'll see. One would be online. So not a huge amount of difference between offline and online, other than just the way the person engages with it. So typically online, you're going to see more photos, more engagement pieces to try and keep me glued to the screen, so that when instant messenger pops up, when my Facebook updates pop up, my eyes aren't trying to pull away. You've got to keep that person focused on that sales letter. But typically they promote a product or a service, just like you would think, introduces a problem, and then introduces a promise or an outcome. If you do this, if you continue on with me, I can solve that problem. Here's what your problem is. This is the solution. It always has a very strong call to action saying the solution is this product, and here's why it's so great, and you're going to buy it. And of course, it pays well, like I just talked about, with possible royalties. Direct mail, though, is also still used, and it's funny, people think, oh, direct mail is dead. We hear about this all the time. Direct mail is not dead. Direct mail is still one of the most effective marketing channels for new customer acquisition, which means bringing new customers into a business as well as customer retention. And why do you think that is? Because where are you not getting as much overload as you are anywhere else? Plus, if a company is willing to put a letter in the mail, to spend the money on printing and postage and all that stuff, they're probably a little more, there's a little bit of credibility that comes with that versus the random email that you find in your inbox. So from an acquisition standpoint, with direct mail, I can buy a list of people. I don't have to figure out how to get them to engage with my ads or figure out, how to partner with people so I can reach them. I can basically say to what's called a list broker, I want people just like this. I want 55 to 65-year-old men who are like that. And they can find mailing lists from people who've bought other things in that area. You can actually buy the list and send them your letter. So direct mail from a company standpoint, while it's a huge investment because they have to print it and postage and all this stuff, it gives them the ultimate control in that they can say exactly who they want to send it to. So it's still a very big viable channel in the industry. And oftentimes, if you have a company that is mailing in the mail, you'll also have somebody, they're usually also running their sales letters online. And so it's a huge opportunity on both sides. All right. That's sales letters. The rest of these will go a little bit faster. Next up, we have web copy. So we're talking about the home page as well as other pages in the website. As I was talking about the sales letter, the online sales letter, your biggest opportunity or challenge here is keeping somebody engaged. How do you get them to say, yes, I'm in the right spot. You've got less than 7 seconds. I'm in the right spot, and there's something here for me, the reader. There's a reason why I want to stay on the page. Web writers who can do this get paid very well, because in my world, in the marketing world, where you're trying to get people to move forward, to take an action, whether it's to sign up for an e-letter or buy a product, I need them on the page. I need them to stay because that tells me they're engaged. and they're moving along down to where they get to the call to action. So web copywriters make great money simply because that's their thing. They understand how to keep somebody focused on the page and get them moving forward to the next possible action. And web copy, again, is used by every single company. Again, imagine doing business with anybody. Imagine buying a product, or your dentist, anybody who doesn't have a website, to come paint your house. Back in the day, you would look through the yellow pages and you might find somebody, oh, they actually have an ad. They must be a really legit company because the ad is bigger than all the other listings. Nowadays, no, you Google it and you click through their website. You have 3 possible CPAs that you're going to go with. You click through their website and you're pretty much sold whether you're going to do business or not based on that website. So it's so important, and that's why the demand is huge, because everybody needs web copy. It's ongoing because they can't just put up one website, one page. There's multiple pages, and we have to have pages that keep on evolving and growing and adapting to what our prospects and customers need. So there's a huge demand, but the fees are great too. $1,500 to $3,000 for just a homepage, not even a complicated homepage, just coming up with that core messaging based on who is coming to the landing, who they're hoping to attract when they hit the homepage. And then $500 to $800 per page for the other pages within the website. Every business, we talked about, needs a website, and this is a quote from Why Web Performance Matters. 88% of online visitors, consumers, are less likely to return to a site after a bad experience. Makes sense to me. I'm not surprised it's 100%. Why would you go back to a website? It's that initial instinct of like, this was awful, unless I had to go back. And I'm guessing the 12%, it might be people who've already purchased or have a membership or something. There's some reason that they have to go back to that website. But if it's a bad website, that can kill your business. 88% of people, it could kill the opportunity. That's crazy. But so it makes sense for why a company would want to hire somebody who knew what they were doing. So web writing is a great opportunity. It's got a lot lower barrier to entry, if you will. If you are trying to break in, sales letters, while I said they're a little more complicated to learn how to write, you still want to learn how to write them because it will make you be the best web writer out there. But as far as barrier to entry goes, everybody needs a website, and they can give you a test on such a little project. You can say, hey, great website. I've got an idea for another landing page. On your navigation, you link to this page. What if I think I could rewrite that page and make it stronger? And here's my idea. Or I think I have another idea for your homepage. Whatever it is, just find a page on the website, go to that company and say, I think I can make this page stronger for you. Easy way in, really low risk for them. They don't have to pay $25,000 in printing materials and postage and mailing lists and things like that. They can just give you a shot, and there's really no risk to them. So web writing is a huge opportunity that I feel like every writer should get into. Once we move past websites and the things that we know today as the websites that we operate with, there are things called microsites or landing pages. And you've probably interacted with one of these multiple times before. So rather than, let's say, rather than having the AWAI website, this is a great example. There's the AWAI website, and AWAI publishes a company. We publish a magazine called Barefoot Writer, right? Barefoot Writer has its own microsite because there are people that we might want to just show Barefoot Writer to. If they don't know who AWAI is, or if AWAI doesn't mean anything to them, the Barefoot Writer name, that's pretty catchy, right? It already has some kind of imagery to it. You already are feeling something about it, and we might want to keep you focused in that world. A lot of companies use this for products, for specific products. If I sell 6 pieces of technology, I might have a microsite for each piece of the technology, because if you, buyer, are looking to buy piece 4, I don't want to necessarily distract you with 1, 2, 3, 5, or 6, right? That might distract you, and oh, there's a lot more going on here. So a microsite keeps you focused on the thing that you're looking for. You've already raised your hand and said that you are interested in technology item number 4. So I'm going to make sure that everything that you see is about technology number 4. It's going to talk about how great that product is. It's going to have the features and benefits. All the testimonials are going to be about technology number 4. Nothing is going to distract you from the other things. That's called a microsite. A landing page is very similar in its intention of keeping you focused, but usually it's only a single page, and it has one singular action, and that is to get you to move forward. So typically you'll see these if you click on an ad on Facebook. You typically will go to a landing page that is trying to get you to do something, to pick give them your email address for a free report. It might be to buy this product. If you've already done your research, and I know that you have, and you're almost close to the buying decision, but you haven't closed the deal, I might send you to a landing page that's only intention is to get you to take that next step forward. So that's very focused efforts. And you can make 3,000, 7,000. I mean, it's really depends on how many pages of copy you're actually writing. But it's great because you work in this little vacuum. You know, again, you believe in technology number 4, or you love at AWAI, you love the Barefoot Writer, or you love the accelerated program. You're like, why don't you guys have a microsite specifically for the accelerated program? It's such a great program. I've been through it. You have so many great testimonials. Why are you distracting people on all this other stuff? Well, because AWAI has been around for over 20 years, and there are so many ways to make a great living as a writer, and we have to talk about the big opportunity. But good point, copywriter A. Maybe we should have a microsite specifically on that product. So again, you would flesh out saying, I think it should look like this. These are the 5 pages. Bada bing, bada boom, you're on your way. Even though there's already a sales letter, even though there are 5 sales letters written for the accelerated program, you could still take those sales letters, break them apart, and create a microsite that has all the components of a sales letter, but it appears to be more like a mini site, so people can easily find what people are saying, the testimonials, what the program includes, which would be different than if you were reading a sales letter from top to bottom. So it can be a single page or a mini site. It could generate leads, so please give us your email address and we'll give you this report. But again, usually it's focused on one single mission. It's just focused on that one action, and there are no distractions. I like the rhyming. So before I hand it over to Pam, one that she's actually very familiar with, these are typically used in B2B or business to business. So again, a business selling to another business, and they're called white papers. White papers appeal to people who are very logical. You like to do the research and you like to present the facts. It's about why this technology works. So it might be, going back to my example of Technology 4, why is Technology 4 so great? And usually white papers are read by or requested by people who are very close to the purchase. So I'm looking to buy a copy. Do people still use copy machines? I'm looking to buy a copy machine for my office. I have been asked to buy this piece of technology. I'm going to now go to these copy companies that I think have great copy products, and I'm going to start reviewing their copy products. Let's use software. Software sounds a little more complicated. I need a new accounting system. So I'm going to go to these 3 accounting companies and ask them about their software. They're going to give me all their sales information. They're going to tell me the features. They're going to tell me the benefits. They're going to give me their success stories and tell me all about why the product is so great and I should buy it. But what I'm going to want to know, because my developer team that is going to ask me, we've got some technical questions, buyer. I know that you want to buy the product, but there are some things that we have to know about how the technology works before we can give you the go-ahead that it's actually going to work for our company, that it's going to integrate with all the other systems that we have. Can you find out if they have a white paper on that software? Me, the buyer, goes to the marketer and says, do you have a white paper? My tech team wants to know more about the actual technology. That's what a white paper is. The white paper details all of that technical, nerdy, cool stuff that our tech guys love, that tells them exactly how the thing works. It's all about the research and the functional stuff behind whatever it is that you're selling. They're typically used for much higher end purchases. So in B2B, a purchase can be $5,000, $50,000, $50 million. And there could be many pieces of marketing that are needed, 22 plus, just for a buyer to go from, I know your product exists, to here is an actual purchase order for your project. So white papers, it's a big opportunity because the companies who need them need technical brained people, the people who like to do research, figure out the how, and present it. They want to present just the facts, man, as a white paper. But again, white papers are read by people, not businesses. So the white paper, even though it has all that technical stuff, still has to be written in a way that makes somebody want to read it. It's not a manual. It's not an instruction manual. It's still selling the technology, but it's doing it in a way that's answering the questions that the buyer really needs to understand. And they pay great. It might take you a few weeks to write a white paper, but it'll pay $2,000, $7,000, $10,000 and up. Gordon Graham is our resident faculty member for white papers. And his website is That White Paper Guy. And this is what all he does. He just writes white papers in the high-tech industry. So again, just to snapshot this, close this one out, it basically presents important findings for an industry. It could be survey results, new methods, how something works. It's usually a basic summary. So it's this in-depth report, then there's a summary, and then that analysis followed by some statistics and things. But its job is not only to help move the buyer forward, but also to position that client or what the company that's selling this product as the leader, authority, or solution for that space. If you're looking for accounting software, we're the company you want to come to, and here's why. So that is what a white paper is all about. And Pam, or actually Katie, I'm going to hand it over to you. I would like for you to jump in and tackle ebooks.
Yep, and just building on the white paper conversation, there's three questions you can ask yourself as far as if they're right for you. And basically, do you like to write informational materials? So it's not the hypey sales copy. It's really these booklets that explain and educate. And then also, do you enjoy researching? If you're the type of person that loves to dig in and solve these types of problems, digging into the facts, white papers are great for you. And also, how do you feel about interviewing experts? Is that something that excites you, that you feel you have a real knack for? Because that's part of the whole white paper process as well. So if these check your boxes, then I definitely consider white papers. Okay, so let me just get on my screen here, because I have those white paper slides as well. So I'm gonna just jump right through those. And okay, now I gotta move this. All right, so ebooks. I'm gonna start with a quote from Bob Bly that I have written right up here. He views ebooks, when we're talking about ebooks, we're not necessarily talking about fiction or poetry or that. We're talking really information products. We're talking about books that have a higher perceived value than typical books. And as Bob says, information marketing should be every freelance copywriter's second business. And ebooks are the best way to get started. They're easy and cheap to produce. They sell well with a high profit margin, and info product buyers love them. So if you're not familiar with the term info marketing or info products, it's basically selling information. It's selling training. It's selling not even so much research. It's really information. Like AWAI is an info marketer, because what we sell is information that helps you become a better writer and learn how to make a living as a writer. Ebooks, let me get to the next slide. They're helpful how-to guides, and they can be used for multiple purposes. They can be used to attract customers to either you as a copywriter or to the clients that you write for. It can be used to turn prospects into customers, and they can be used to then keep your customers engaged by giving them that extra value. They're used as premiums and bonuses. It's a way of delivering value in a way that's easy for people to consume. They're downloadable, and they're typically 10 to 50 pages. Bob is our guru on this. He's the guy that we go to. He's the guy that teaches our writers how to add this multiple income, this additional income stream. And what he gets so excited about, and what just makes so much sense, is they don't take a lot of cash to get started. These are a great way for writers to practice their writing, to always have a project to be working on. And if you market them and sell them through Amazon, which is super easy to do, or Kindle, there's no printing, there's no fulfillment, the margins are great. And the other thing that's so cool about ebooks is, if you're the writer or if you're writing it for somebody else, it establishes I want to say the word aura, but that's not the right thing. But it establishes credibility and expertise. You are the expert on whatever the topic is about. It's a great way. We love to say how there's some writing opportunities where you don't actually need clients, and ebook is at the top of that list. So it's definitely something to consider, either doing for clients or doing for yourself as well. So that's a great opportunity. And you can have multiple streams of income. You can have 4, 5, 6, 7. Bob makes, hundreds of thousands of dollars now because he has so many ebooks out and available. Next, case studies. Now, these are shorter than white papers, typically. They're really 2 to 4 to 6 pages maybe, that describe how a company or organization solved a challenge with a product or service. And it showcases the results that the customer or the person that the case study is about enjoyed. So, for instance, on AWAI, we have a page of case studies. There's probably over 50 of them. And it just highlights all the different ways people can achieve the same goal, which is their idea of the writer's life. But you just don't know which one people will relate to. So the more you have, the better it is. They're typically about 800 to 1,200 words. So really, that's just a couple pages. They dramatize how the product made all the difference. They're real world, they're believable. They're a huge proof piece for marketers. They're very lucrative when you think about how really condensed they are, and the bang. Ed Gandia, who is one of our experts on case studies, we actually work with quite a few people. He earns about $200 to $300 per hour when you actually do the math for doing these. And like I said, just AWAI alone, we have probably over 50, and we're adding them all the time. It's just such a great way to bring our success and bringing the writer's life to life through the eyes of the people who are doing it. So these are really valuable marketing tools for all kinds of companies, not just B2B, not just B2C. Really every company can use case studies to show how their product or service helps people be successful. All right, so Pam, I think we're back over to you. So, yep, I'm going to, maybe I'll just back that up till you're ready to go.
Okay, I'm here.
You're here, all right, yep. No computer issues?
No, except Fran, when I hover over to the left, I have no functionality to do anything, but maybe that's because I'm not sharing yet. Wait 1 second. So
okay, so I'm going to stop my share and yep. I'm handing the baton to you.
Okay, let's see if I can do this smoothly. It's been an interesting technological day here. All right,
okay.
Whoops. All right, so
I'll see you on the other side.
Yep. All right, so I need to share slideshow, current slide. Can you guys see that?
Perfect. Yes, we can, Pam.
All right, beautiful. So the next one is one of my favorites because I've been doing this for a long time, writing video scripts. Video scripts are so huge now. YouTube is one of the top search engines, believe it or not. Did you know that? And also, just everybody now is expecting companies to put out videos for a wide range of reasons, and you can get paid quite a lot. So short videos might be something that's 2 to 3 minutes long at the most, and then long videos pay a lot more, as you can see here. So I just want to kind of give you an idea of the video world. Somebody, I can't remember the exact source of the statistic, but they said by 2020 video will be 80% of what consumers gobble up online or access online. They're all looking for videos, and companies that produce videos of all kinds get 66 more leads a year according to data that I found, and build 54% more brand awareness. So they're hot. That in short, they're just a hot commodity, and somebody needs to write those scripts. So short video ads that you might see on Facebook, for example, or demos, product demos. You might also find how-to, like one of my favorites is this doctor one in the image there, how to stop or how to calm a crying baby. That video is 31 million views. 31 million views. Do you think that has set up that doctor as the authority on how to stop a baby from crying? Heck yeah, it's so amazing. And then we have Homebrewing 101, Beginner's Guide to Brewing Beer. These are typical, how to crochet for absolute beginners. Now on that brewing beer one, they're actually selling supplies. So it's a really helpful how-to video, but by the way, they're selling something. So video is incredibly popular now. And as we just showed you, they can also be case studies. We have case studies that are text and photos online, but also video case studies are really powerful now. And if you're scrolling on Facebook tonight, scroll on through, you're going to see lots of videos in your feed, and a lot of them are ads or something from a company you happen to be following and you like. So think about how prolific video is now and how you can play a role in that. And then we talked about sales letters, and a big trend in the last, I'd say, 6 years has been for major marketers to start bringing their long sales letters to life through video. So it started out with very basic, someone reading a script and going through slides on the screen, and now they do interviews and like talk show formats, and someone has to write all that. And you might think that some of that is very ad hoc, or they're just having a conversation, but believe me, every word was scripted because there is a strategy to it. So video is massive, and you can do really well writing that. And I've written, gosh, demo videos, case study videos, ads, all kinds for many years. It's a lot of fun, and you're not expected to shoot the video or do anything like that. They just really need a good script writer. That's another opportunity. And then we have,
sorry,
oh, go ahead.
For those of you asking, looks like we skipped number 7. So we'll cover number 7 at the end. I think there was a little bit of confusion with the handoff between you and Katie.
Oh, well, let's cover 7 now.
Thank you.
I know all about this.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, we can count. So another opportunity, which is something I guess I can say I sort of invented maybe, is site audits. And what I mean by that is not a technical audit, which companies like HubSpot and other technical suppliers or providers can do, and that's where they might look for broken links or things like that. I'm talking about the content. And is the content on a website user-friendly? Is it speaking to the prospect? Is it guiding them to a path where they're going to make a buying decision, or at least become a lead by clicking on something or giving you their email address? So many websites are falling down on these things, and you can become a hero by stepping in and advising them on the things that aren't working, and then show them how to fix them. So you can get paid as a consultant, $1,500 to $3,000 for that. What you basically do is you work with a checklist, and you can create your own, or we have one in a program we developed, but you'll basically go in and advise clients on any gaps and opportunities they might have to improve their web copy and experience. And you're not really going to go in and tell them everything that's wrong. You want to keep it very positive and say, you know, there's a lot of stuff here that's really great. It's just the way that it's presented in the flow, and how you break up the copy so it's not one big blob of text, and how you might have benefit bullets that are very clear and succinct, and you have a call to action that guides the person to the next step, whether you want them to watch a video or order a product or sign up for the newsletter and get a discount. All of those things are affected by the copy or the content, and that's where you can help as a writer. You have a checklist where you can go through, you know, like the Midas muffler check. They have the 21-point check for your car. We made up one for people's websites and what they really should be including as a best practice. And once you go through that, you will audit basically a website and go through some pages and make notes and take some pictures. Then you'll show and tell. You'll have a meeting with your client and you'll walk through that. And you'll say things like, you know, some of these pages are missing headlines. And so when a prospect gets to that page, they're really not sure what that page is about or how it can help them. So a headline is important, and not only to the prospect, but Google needs a headline too, so they know what your page is about. So just things like that will help clients go, wow, and then you'll make recommendations to bring in better results. But here's the trick. You won't tell them how to write headlines or how to improve. You'll just show them what can be improved, and then they have to hire you to do all the copy improvements you're recommending. So you actually get paid twice. You get paid once as a consultant, and then you get paid again to make all the changes you're recommending. And I mean, who else would they choose, right? You've already shown them the path of what's going to work better for them. So they're excited to work with you. So it's really a double way to make money, and combine this with the web copy projects that Rebecca talked about earlier. Okay, forgive me for skipping that one. Now we'll move on to this one, which is kind of interesting and fairly new for us, but boy, it's a no-brainer. They're called key message copy platforms, and you can make $3,000, $4,000 and up doing this for clients. And basically what it is, again, it's a consulting role. You're going to be auditing a company's message, like how are they speaking to their prospects, and look at it across all their channels. So on their website, is it consistent with what they're saying in their ads? Is it consistent with their trade show materials? Is it strong enough? I can't tell you how many trade shows. I work in the veterinary industry a lot, and I'll go to trade shows and walk around the booths, and some booths you just stand there and look at their messaging and you're like, I have absolutely no idea what they do. I couldn't tell you what they do or how it's going to matter to me, a veterinarian, right? So you want to look at the client's messages and see how they're resonating with prospects, and are they using persuasive copy? Are they solving problems with their words? Are they drawing in people with a unique message that makes them stand out better than anyone else in their category? So then after that, you'll write some new taglines and headlines and maybe even some other blocks of copy for the client to use as needed in all their materials. And that will ensure consistent, stronger messaging across the board. If they have in-house writers or anyone working on their materials, everybody's going to have the same voice, the same type of message, and that's an incredibly valuable consulting role that you can provide as a writer, because you're learning what works, and now you can share that with companies and come up with great ideas. This little sample here is Casey Demchek is our expert who wrote that program, and he gave us an example of one of his, it's just the first page of a key message copy platform for a company. He developed taglines they could consider using, brand name ideas, and a whole bunch more for everything from their website to their direct mail that they send out to their broker materials, all of it. Now finally, this is a really fun one, ghostwriting a book. We have people out there, look at that price, $5,000 to $10,000 and up, and it all depends on how long the book is, how intense the work is that you'll be doing. But basically, in many companies and even sole proprietors, they want to be recognized as published authorities. They want to be out there published. A book can deliver a really strong platform for someone and a company who are trying to make their mark as an authority on something, but they're not writers, or they just simply don't have time. They're really busy, they've got some ideas, they maybe even put an outline together, maybe not, they just have a notion of what they want to convey. So you can be hired to write that for them. And you, with your writing skills, you can help them develop the outline, the angle, the text all the way through, any kind of research or statistics or facts that they want to pull in. It's kind of like speech writing, but you're doing a whole book on behalf of a client. So I used to work for LL Bean, and LL Bean hit 100 years a couple years ago of their store being in existence, and they put out a history book. And I'm not exactly sure who wrote it, but you know, that's the kind of thing that companies will hire writers to help them with. And then you have someone who's a leader, like I don't know, trying to think of the guy who started Tesla, and his name is escaping me. Anyway, he might have a book that he wants to put out, but gosh, he's too busy, so he's going to dictate some ideas to a writer, and then the writer will fill out and write the book. So those are kind of exciting projects because you're going to get immersed in it and help a client or a company become a major hero and authority out there. And people like Bob Bly, if you've ever heard of him, He writes tons and tons and tons of books, and I think he's almost about to hit his 100th book that's been published. Amazing. But he also writes a lot of reports, but I'll give you a clue, and he, I'm sure, would be fine with me sharing this, is he does hire ghostwriters to help write some of those reports because he's so darn busy. So he knows what he wants to project, and he works with the ghostwriter, and they go ahead and write it. Sometimes he gives them credit, sometimes not. That, I don't know how that works, but basically it's out there as a real in-demand, awesome kind of project to do. So those are our 10, and if you kind of want it all encapsulated in one list, here it is again. We have sales letters, both online and in direct mail. We have web copy, microsites and landing pages, white papers, ebooks, case studies, site audits, video scripts, key message platforms, and ghostwriting. And there are many, many, many other types of writing, but when we looked around at all the things that you could be doing now, these are really some of the best paying jobs that you can get. So speaking of that, how do you land these projects? And Katie and Rebecca, feel free to chime in on this, but if you want to go out and write web copy, you'll definitely want to have a good freelance website, because people hiring web copywriters will want to see your work. And your own website is a great example of how clearly you communicate and how you talk to your prospects. So yeah, jump on in. So that is one thing I highly recommend, and we've got on Inside AWAI some information on how to attract clients to you with a great website. And then we've got other materials too where you can learn how to do that. We've got articles too on our website. If you just Google a topic, you'll see all the stuff we have on that. If you're writing sales copy, you'll want to develop samples, and you'll want to look at even our sales letters are great examples of how that all works. Headline, big promise, then a lead that draws the prospect in, and then all the benefits and proof. There's a formula to it, and that's what we're all about. So clients who work in that world will want to have some samples or just see some ideas you have. And then to market yourself, my gosh, there are so many ways you can market yourself. We actually did an Inside AWAI recently on 26 different ways. And we like the subtitle of that is like, if you're an introvert, there's some ways there for you. If you're an extrovert like me, I'm not very shy, there are different ways. But I do hate cold calling. So, you know, there are all these different ways that you can try for yourself and see what works. And
Pam, just to add to that, we've done multiple Inside AWAIs on getting that first project, getting the $1,000 project, getting clients to come, clients to come to you. What if you don't even want clients? Be client, So please take advantage of this resource of these webinars that we do, where we do deep dives on a lot of these topics that are on your mind right now. So, because you're hearing from people who have done it. Rebecca and I have been doing this for 20 years now. We have seen every possible actualization of this promise and how it works for different people. So definitely tap into the resource that is AWAI and this wonderful community that you're now a part of.
Right, and the LinkedIn in particular seems to be especially strong, and Elise Bennon, who does a lot of training with us, just did a LinkedIn session that is amazing, and so I highly encourage you to check that out as a place to market yourself. Additional resources, like I said, we've got a lot of free articles on our website. You can just Google any topic and you will find a plethora of information, from articles to programs to events even. And then we have a product catalog with training programs if you want to specialize in any of the things that we've been talking about here. And we're always adding new programs. So like ghostwriting, for example, I hate to mention it because you might be asking when it'll be out, but we don't have an exact date yet. We're working on it right now. It's coming. So that's it. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so we can answer questions, because I can't do that while I'm.
There's some good ones. We've answered a lot in the Q&A, but just some that we can do out loud. Norma was asking, and now it's going to start jumping. Thanks for this info. For the price ranges you list for any given project, how do we decide what price within the range to charge for instance, what number of pages, et cetera, equals what price point. There's a lot of different things that goes into pricing. Not only just the length of copy, but also the complexity of the topic. That could factor in the size of the company, what you're selling. So if you are writing to sell an introductory class to your local yoga studio, that is going to be a lot less expensive to have you write than if you were writing that same campaign for a national franchise that is going to be delivering it to their thousands of franchisees to put into use at their yoga studios. So the size of the company, what you're selling. Are you selling is the sales letter hopefully going to make $100,000 in sales or $1 million in sales? That can affect it as well. I wrote an article actually about this, the 6 things that go into pricing on our website. You can search by my name, or you can search for just pricing projects on the AWAI website, and you'll come across that. We also have a program by Elise Benin, who Pam was talking about it's our simplest program for pricing projects. And so what it does is it actually walks you through that, and depending on, because there's every project, every company, everything is going to look so different. So how do you actually come up with those pricing strategies? And then how do you negotiate pricing? Elise goes into what do you do if the client wants to pay less? What do you do if they want to change the scope of the project after you name the price? But no, so that when you first get started, it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. You're going to do your best and try to strike a price that you think works for you and for them. You'll talk to them about it. You can ask them what their budget is for this project, but know that down the line, it becomes more natural. And the more, like anything that you do in life, it's very uncomfortable at first, especially when it's something as big as this, as running a business. So you're going to use our tips and tricks. You're going to look at our strategies. We're going to help you get started. But 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you're just going to have your fees and you're going to know what it's worth to you. Like, I wouldn't bother doing this for less than that. So it really doesn't matter what the company size is or anything like that, because if they can't afford that fee, they're not the right client for me. And we talk about ideal clients a lot inside AWAI. So that's kind of where I would recommend starting. Start with an article on our site, just Google or search on our website for pricing projects, or check out Elise Benin's Simplest Guide to Pricing Projects. Some of you were asking about questions, and I did post it in the chat. Don't buy anything through our website, through our main catalog today. We've had a flash sale running, which we rarely do at AWAI, but we've just had so many requests for so many different things. We just opened up what's called a flash sale and put our whole entire catalog on sale. It's up to 85% off. The link is in the chat. And I guess, Jade, if you can keep on making sure it's down there, that way you get it at the discount. And it's the best discounts you'll ever see. We don't sell it for less. And many of these programs we don't ever discount because it's the whole catalog. So,
and it's many of the things that we've talked about today. Rebecca, I want to jump in with a question from B Took. Do companies hire multiple copywriters to compete against each other? Could you ethically approach a company with that idea? Yes, that is very common practice. You're not going to put all your eggs, no business is going to put all their eggs in one basket. And what happens, kind of the way it works, a company will start with, let's say, with testing 2 letters. Or, maybe it's 2 headlines or two pieces of copy. They hire 2 different writers to write it. Whichever one wins becomes what is then the control. So you never know how long a control is going to last, though. It could be, a couple weeks or a couple months, or in our case, it could be 20 years. But a good marketer is always trying to beat that control. And the way they do that is by bringing in other copywriters to challenge it. So that's a very common practice. And the other thing to think about, for any given product that a company is selling, there are so many pieces of copy that they actually need written. They need the sales letter. They need the landing page. They need the emails. They need the autoresponders. They need the welcome letter. They need bonus, so there's so much that makes up a total campaign. So that's something to think about as well, too. So I hope that answers that question.
It's very weird to be answering questions in the Q&A typing when I'm on camera.
I know.
I'm typing.
Okay, so we answered, I hope that answered that question.
Melanie says, I've heard that a copywriter who writes his first winning sales package is suddenly in great demand. Does this happen from word of mouth? Yes. Once somebody hears, we all know when, if it's your industry. Now, they're not going to go across multiple industries. And I'm going to go ahead and head this off and say, if you have a failing package, does everybody know? And they don't. Nobody ever shares that information. It's just like they see the new package come across in the industry and it's immediately like, did it work? It worked. Who wrote the package? Like, we want to know who wrote the package. And everybody just wants to know. And then that person is kind of but that typically happens.
Oh, and I just want to say, and not only that, but the client is going to sign you up for the next assignment right away too. So you're going to be in demand from the particular client.
And that typically happens though in areas like financial and health, where they're writing a lot of sales letters and it's in a very hyper competitive environment. It's not going to happen if you're working for CPAs.
Exactly. I was just going to say, in the B2B world, once they find someone they like, they do not want to have to bother trying out someone else and bringing them up to speed on their business and taking all that time for the learning curve. If you do a great job with a B2B client, you're pretty much shoot in until, you know, you decide you want to leave or whatever. But there isn't any competition in that world that I know of. I've never seen that.
Excellent. So for some people, they like that idea of competition and other people don't. So B2B has a huge opportunity. Well, great, guys. You had a lot of fantastic questions. So keep on posting them if you have them. We're happy to stay on a little bit longer to make sure all your questions get answered. Sherry wants to know, can you tell me what the Christian program is about? I can. The Christian writing program is about writing for Christian opportunities. So not only for companies who sell within the Christian space, which could be products and services, but also companies who put their faith forward in their business development. So there are certain companies, Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobby, that have a known Christian face to their business. And so they want to write with copywriters who share that faith, and it always sparks conversation. What if I'm not? That's okay. It might not be the company for you. For them, they value that though. And so they want people who share that faith, that they are all aligned with the way that they promote their products and services. So the Christian writing program shows you, it assumes you have a background, a little bit of a foundation in persuasion. So if you've taken the accelerated program for 6-figure copywriting, if you've taken our copywriting crash course, you have that little bit of a foundation, but it builds from there and shows you how to apply it to this world, at who the players are, how to get clients, and how to do well in this space. I will tell you, we are updating the Christian program as we speak, literally right now. So if you have that program, or if you're excited about that program, now is a good time to buy it through the flash sale because it's less expensive. It's on sale. I think it's 50% off. But all of AWAI programs, if you're brand new to our world, everything is what we call a living program, meaning that when we update it, which we do not just publish a program, put it on the shelf, and call it a day. We are constantly updating these things because the world is changing all the time. Industries are changing, copywriting things are changing, new things are being developed or discovered. And so we want these programs, we want you to always have the best, most recent, most practical information. So we update the programs regularly with our experts. And then when you have the program and we've updated it, we go out and we let you know. We've added this bonus, we've revamped this. Some of our programs go through massive revamps. Our social media program was just revamped, over 85% of it was changed. And we go to you and say, hey, we owe you this update, here it is, or we've added these bonuses, or we've added this whole webinar series. You get it for free. Whenever you buy a program with AWAI, it's your program for life. You have access to it forever, and every update that we ever do, free for life. So if you're interested in Christian writing, again, it's a good time to buy it, because as soon as the update comes out, the program as it stands is great. It can get you started. But we are about to have a major update, and when it comes out, it's going to be even better.
Even better. Here's a great question. I love how you're thinking, Maureen. Maureen wants to approach the company she currently works for, but I'm not exactly sure how to get started. Do we have any advice? Now, Pam, you actually did this.
I did that.
So
I was just going to say.
Let's go straight to the source here.
Yeah, I was working at a corporate company, a manufacturing company in the veterinary industry, and I discovered AWAI and how it could teach me direct response copywriting, which I really wasn't that knowledgeable about. Sorry, I'm stumbling over myself. So what I did was we have a training budget at our company, and so I raised my hand and said, I want to become an expert in direct response copywriting for us, our company. So can you buy this program for me? And so they did. And then I got a mailer for the boot camp, and I went, hey, we still have some more training money. Can you send me to the boot camp? And so they did. And I learned everything I could, and I brought it back to the company, and I applied it, and it really worked well for some mailers and other things we were doing. And eventually it was my plan to leave. And so I left on a good note because I had applied what I learned, and it really benefited the company. And I know of other people too who, I happened to be in a creative department at the time. I was writing. But if you're not, I've heard of other members who've just approached their boss and said, I know our marketing team is busy, but we don't seem to have an in-house writer. I would like to raise my hand and learn this and try some things out with you guys. And I think most companies are very open to it. You just never know. It's a case-by-case basis. But that's how I would approach it. Just say, I'm really excited to learn this. I know it could help us, our company, and make it benefit
of your process.
What's in it for them, yeah.
What's in it for them. And think about, where is the writing done? Does your company have a newsletter or an e-letter? If they don't, could they use one? Is there a Facebook group? Who's posting in there? Can you participate in there? Are there internal documents that you can start writing that would help salespeople or help communications? There's so many ways. Wherever you, think about where there's little problems or little opportunities that you can solve or add to. And, that's such an added benefit that you're adding to the company that it should be a fairly easy conversation to have. And let us know how it turns out. That's the big thing.
Someone's asking about, if you don't have clients yet, how do you get one? We've got on Inside AWAI. If you look at that, you can go to our website and just Google Inside AWAI. You'll come to a page where we have several sessions on how to get your first client, how to get your foot in the door, how to get them to come to you even. Some different ideas. Maybe you know someone who runs a business and you could offer to do some writing for them. There are lots of different ways, so check that out, please. That's really going to go in depth on that question. Let's see.
And just to fly up to 30,000 feet on that, just if you don't have any experience, you do have experience in something. So whether it is your area of expertise, you've worked in the accounting industry for 10 years, maybe that's the niche that you pick. You've taken martial arts for 10 years. You're very well read in alternative health, whatever the thing is, or you are a prospect. I'm a mom of 2 small children. I have experience being a mom. I can work for companies. I can write for companies very honestly because I know who the moms are. I know what their fears are. I could work for an infant safety product company, not because I know anything about the technology behind infant safety products, but I know what a mom feels like when they're afraid that their baby may have stopped breathing in the middle of the night. Is the bathtub too hot? Is the bathtub too cold? Can I feed the baby with this spoon or one of these 70 bottles, which is going to be the best bottle for my baby? I know what it was like to be a consumer in that space, so I do have experience. From there, so that's choosing your niche. And we walk you, there's a great webinar that Pam did on how to pick a niche, free from Inside AWAI. She also has a fantastic program through the company that really walks you step by step so that you have confidence in the decision that you're making, which happens to be available through the flash sale. Once you pick your niche, then it really is about focusing on what you do have. If you've taken the accelerated program, you now have a skill set. You know how to write persuasively in that industry. We show you how to put up your LinkedIn profile. We show you how to find clients in the infant safety product market so that you know who your potential clients are. We show you how to reach out to them. So it's not as, it seems like a big thing, but it's just these little steps. And you're not going to go out and say, hey guys, I'm brand new. I'm a copywriter in this space. You're going to say, I've been a mom. I know exactly what your moms are fearing. I know how to write to them. I believe in your products and services, and I'm excited about that. When those clients come to my LinkedIn profile, it's going to say infant safety products copywriter. And my bio is going to be all about how I'm so passionate about this space because I want to help moms know about the best products for their babies. So you focus on all the things that you do have, and we teach you how to do this extensively in everything that we teach. Accelerated program for 6-figure copywriting, even that has a whole section at the end of it that walks you through exactly what I just said. One of our, what we call the AWAI method, the way that we do our programs or any kind of training here is that balance between skill set and building a business. So everything that you take from us, any program that you ever buy, is going to teach you how to do the thing, And then it's also going to teach you how to get the clients who buy these projects, who use these projects. So know that just keep on stepping forward. Don't have to worry about experience. Don't have to worry about samples. We show you how to create samples, even if you've never written one thing before in your life. We've got it all here. You just got to keep on moving forward. How do I find the accelerated course? It's in our main catalog, but don't buy it from there because it happens to be on sale. I'm so afraid someone's going to buy something from the main thing. I'm hoping somebody gave you access to it because it just disappeared. Does a six-figure program provide access? I'm not sure.
To the directresponsejobs.com. I had just told her we have.
Joy West, is that who you're answering?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And once you purchase any programs, they're all housed on your member page, what we call your My AWI page. They're easy to get to. They're easy to navigate. And like Rebecca said earlier, anytime we make updates, they happen automatically. And, you certainly will be hearing from us as far as how to take advantage of any programs that you're in. George is asking, will I receive an email when a program I've purchased is updated? Yes, we do that, and we announce it in Week in Review. We try to get the word out as thoroughly as possible.
Is the Secrets of Becoming an Internet Research Special program related or relevant to B2B white paper writing? It is not. B2B white papers is a very specific project type. Internet research is about doing research for copywriters who are looking to write, somebody was talking earlier about spending the time versus hiring someone to edit things on their website. A lot of times copywriters, they want someone to do the research for them. They want to focus on writing. They don't want to spend the week trying to find these nuggets of information. And that's what internet research is all about, is how to do really good research that helps the copywriter put out a great package that's based on really interesting and unique stuff.
All right, I think we're calling it. No open questions. Well, this has been wonderful. Love the participation, and you ask great questions. See great things ahead for you guys. And always know we have this archive of over 30 of these webinars where we take a single topic like this and do deep dives. So those are available to you, and we'll have a new one at least once a month coming up. So stay tuned, and I hope you'll join us. And we really appreciate this positive feedback that we're getting. It really does drive us and motivate us, and it's why we do what we do. So don't think that just because we can't answer to all the thank yous at the moment, but yeah, we see them and we appreciate them. And right back at you.
And so Elaine is asking, how do I access Barefoot Writer? If you're already a subscriber, you will go to the My AWI. Just go to the AWI website. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your member login. You'll log in there, and Barefoot Writer will be on your landing page, on your member page. If you have not already purchased Barefoot Writer, if you go to Barefoot Writer, or it's probably on the catalog for today, just go there and sign up for it, and you'll have access to it. Allison is asking about the companion series to help with the accelerated program. The companion series, for those of you who don't know, is something that walks you through. Katie and I and all of we have expert guests that come in. We literally walk you through the program over 10 weeks to ensure that you get it done and to ensure that you understand it on a deeper level. Allison, I don't see it on the landing page because it's not really a program that we offer in the catalog. But if you'll call member services, I will message them right now. Jade, if you can answer it with the phone number in the chat. If you call member services, I'll get in front of it and let them know that you are calling about the companion series, and I will ask them to give you whatever the best deal is that we've offered all year on it. That way you can take advantage of the flash sale, even though it's not available on the catalog page. What's the link for the sale? Sorry, guys. I should have it. We should have made an easier one that was like sale. Marcia says, companion series is awesome. I just finished it. Yay.
Yay. I saw a comment too that we should call this the deep dive seminars.
Oh, I like that.
Thanks. I like it.
I love it. Melissa says, thank you. We can end on this one. Thank you so much. I'm blown away by all the quality and the quantity of materials that AWI has. That is going to make me a success. Really looking forward to meeting you all at boot camp.
Yay.
Looking forward to meeting you at boot camp too. See you in just a few weeks.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks, everybody.
And Pam, do you have our topic for next month? I can't remember it offhand.
I am a blank at the moment. I'm so sorry.
It'll be published. I will make sure I send you a follow-up email on Monday after Inside AWAI that has the playback and the slides and all of that stuff. So I'll make sure that I mention it in that follow-up email.
Oh, I know what it is. We're going to redo the roadmap, update it.
Oh, good. So next month, everybody always asks, like, there's so many great opportunities. How do I know which ones are right for me? We're going to walk you through our process for creating a custom roadmap just for you. So if you join us next month for Inside AWAI, you will walk away with your roadmap. And that way, when anything presents itself, whether it be a client, a program, a webinar, an opportunity, you can say, does it keep me on my path or does it take me off my path? And if it takes me off my path, I'm going to mark it a bright, shiny object and say goodbye to it for now so I can stay focused on my plan. So we're going to get together. We're going to get you a point A to point B. We'll define what point B is and show you how to get there. So you'll automatically get instructions for it on how to access it. But that's next month. The reason we're doing that one again is we've had so many requests in past months for that answer, for that solution. So we just thought, let's just do it live and help everybody walk through their roadmaps. But the reason I say that is if you have a request, like the samples one, we did a whole webinar on how to create samples just because someone said, what do I do if I don't have samples? Can you please walk me through what I'm supposed to do? We create these Inside AWAI topics based on what you need. So if there's anything that we can do to help you move your business forward, please count us in. Just email me at askrebecca@awai.com and I will get it on our list and get a crew together that can help explain the topic if it's something that we're not familiar with. But we want to help you move forward and succeed. So if there's anything we can do, please reach out, don't hesitate, and you can count us in.
Okay, last comment. This is from Jen L. We've helped her get clients, helped her develop ideas for her business and as a company, and she finds us the most responsive to your members. And I'm just reading that because, first of all, I want to share that with this amazing AWAI team because this is why we do what we do. And I'm reading that loud because I want to give you a shout out, Jen. So good on you because you've obviously taken what we're teaching and sharing and have made it work. And I want you to write to me and tell me about it. I want some details. Come on, we want to celebrate this. So send me a note at askkatie@AWAI. I want to hear about these clients and all these ideas you've developed. So please write in. Okay, everybody.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next month.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for being here.